Did you put your legs up after sex?
Well, I can't feel my legs, so I don't know. They sometimes are up, sometimes they're down. Who knows?
Oh.
Mom! Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta.
I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Delta, a luxury public access podcast and talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very Delta. Very Delta is for the woman who doesn't beg to differ. She insists. Today's guest is a pop culture aficionado with the juicy scoop. It's the one and only Heather McDonald.
Thank you so much for having me, Delta.
Thank you for
This
being
is
here.
awesome. Beautiful set. You look great.
You walk in supermodel. I mean, I'm a fan of supermodels, raised by supermodels. It is, for people that don't know, it's very early in the morning. You do not live right up the street and you are fully done.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
I did full drag for my extent. This is my hair, but I do my own hair. I do my own makeup. I've been able to do my makeup for years with my own lashes and everything. But I did up it a little for you. I did wear more than I normally wear.
It's so beautiful.
I did wear a cute dress. I hope you're watching this. And I whipped out these cute pink shoes. I have like a Palm Springs look happening. Because I thought, look how good I look in your set. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to jump immediately to true crime.
Great. I know everything.
You do. I'm excited.
And I have my other podcast, Juicy Crimes.
Yes. That's where I want to go because I love hearing about this. I feel like, especially now, while there are lots of different ways, people like to hear specific voices share those stories. Mm-hmm. And that's when they take new light, new information. More people want to tune in if they love hearing you specifically.
I mean, so far that's been the success of it. Mm-hmm. At first I was nervous because, I sometimes, you read the comments and it's like, she got her facts wrong. And what did she know? And I'm like, again, this is a comedic conversation, Juicy Scoop. But with the Juicy Crimes, still, I am not a, crime journalist. I don't go to the prison and visit the person. I'm not getting but I love crime, as do you. And there's certain crime stories that I'm more interested in, which are like crimes of passion and rich people fucking up and that kind of stuff. And putting myself in what happened, the ones that relatable, here was a very normal, happy couple. And then she, got bored and started getting some fresh D and fucking lost her mind. And now she and her boyfriend killed her husband. And how is she going to get out of this? And what? And then I'm like, oftentimes my sister is a criminal defense attorney, will be on the show and she speaks like an attorney. And then I'm like, well, if I was the prosecutor, this is what I would say. And if I was the defense attorney. And so that's what it really is. It's like, and we go through sometimes a couple crimes per episode. And so far that I think is the niche of my show versus all the others. Yeah.
I feel like every year we hear we're one step closer to solving JonBenet. We figured out who it is. We figured out what it is. We figured out. And I mean, I feel like, again, it's one of those, every night when I go to bed, I'll look at something like that, or I'll just check it and I'll see, are we ever going to know precisely what happened? Do you have your own theory on something like that?
Well, when the special first came out, in which then I believe the family sued CBS, this FBI guy went deep dive and he said, I think it may have been the younger brother, which was older than she, that just got frustrated with his little sister. And then the parents covered it up because they're like, we don't even want our child to know that he was responsible. I don't know.
Do you not think that JonBenet Ramsey is Katy Perry? Because that's a theory.
I've heard of that theory too. I'm more obsessed with Katy Perry trying to get great real estate from old people. The nuns in Los Feliz, the Cameron Westcott father-in-law in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
No, I definitely don't think she's Katy Perry, but I definitely don't think, except for Epstein, I don't think there's people that we're told that we're dead and are actually alive. Remember, there were times people that Elvis was alive. There's times that they thought JFK Jr. was alive. And I'm like, I'm sorry, JFK Jr., with all due respect, he was kind of a thirst bucket. And I mean, he's riding his bike shirtless with a beret around New York. He wasn't going to go in hiding during his hottest years to come back and save the world. Like, no. So those kind of things, I'm like, no. But, Epstein, possibly. He could still be alive somewhere.
Well, there's these pictures that pop up, too, about everybody from the Challenger. All the people that died in the Challenger. And they're like teaching in Monterey. And they're like, no, I'm really here. Hi. I don't think so.
No, I just think there's just, they were average looking white people. And so it's very easy to find someone similar that looks like you, like, no. I mean, I was of the age that, where the TV rolled into my St. Mel's Catholic School in Woodland Hills. And we were all excited because the teacher was like, there's a teacher going up,
I remember
and
too.
then it blew up and we were like, my first thought was like, oh, they're okay though, right? Like my first thought was like, and then they're just like, okay, let's get out our social studies book. And you're like, to think that nobody thought maybe we should let kids go home. Maybe we should talk about it. I mean, I want to say maybe we said a prayer or something, but there was really nothing, no explanation. And that's why people say like Gen X is the way we are.
That's why our generation is 1,000,000% the way we are.
Yeah. We're like numb to things, but then we're like very much overprotective parents. So like our relationship with our Gen Z kids is unique to any other like parent relationship. So yeah.
I mean, we were coming home when the street light went on and, when drinking out of a hose.
Oh, right.
I can remember still thinking like, oh, there's no better or colder water than the water from a hose. Yeah. Now I don't think I would ever drink out of a hose. I think I would rather just have nothing.
Or I just remember like these teenage boys like picking up my friend and I and being in the back of a open truck going to Malibu through the canyon. And I'm like, all the kid had to do, who had beers at like Webway Beach in Malibu, all he had to do was slam on the brakes a little bit. And I would have flown through the canyon, died, or worse, been like, forever crippled. And like, what would my mom and dad's life been like? Like, I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. I went skydiving. What an idiot. I took this real estate. I was in real estate while I was pursuing acting and stuff. And there was like a motivational thing, like, oh, for this amount of weeks, like we're going to wake you up and whatever, get you going. And at the end, you can skydive. And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to skydive. So I go to do the skydiving thing. And my mom, I'm only 23. And she's like, please call me when you land. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, you're so annoying. And I'm like, now, no, I don't think anyone should go skydiving.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, when I was attached to the girl while we're going on the plane, my friend was attached to this guy who held the most amount of double tandem jumps. Okay. So he was like a record. And my girl, as I'm attached to her, I'm in front of her, she's attached to me, is complaining that this is the first jump of the day for her. And he's like, well, come on, Trisha, like you just got certified last week. Like you're not going to have as many jumps, but still. I wasn't like, you know what? Maybe I don't do this. I was like, well, I paid the $143.
Well, you're already strapped up.
The guy already has the video camera ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, what an idiot.
What's the most like death-defying thing you would do now? Oh my God. Bungee jumping?
Never.
No?
No, I don't want to do
like
any of that.
Like off the bridge to nowhere?
No, I never wanted to do the bungee cord jumping thing.
The submersible?
Like a submarine?
Yeah.
No, I'm not into that. That kind of freaks me out. I don't care to see the Titanic up close.
We've already seen the movie. What are we going to look at? Just like muddy water?
I know.
Who cares?
I know. I would definitely do not care about that.
That is not interesting.
And also I just feel it feels like sort of claustrophobic. Like I had a friend who went to like the Maldives or whatever. And she said she went to this restaurant that's like underwater and you're looking at all the fish and everything. She goes, but then it got really hot. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want that.
Right.
Versus just like looking out at the ocean.
Right. That's maybe one of those like little swim up bars.
Yeah, I love a swim up bar.
I'll do that.
I love day drinking. I love peeing in a big pool. after a day of drinking in the sun and no one knows.
Did you ever have the fear that if you peed in the pool, the water would change colors? Remember as a kid, they always said, oh,
My
they have
brother
that in
said
their
that.
pool.
My brothers told me that.
They have that in their pool.
But no, I've looked and it doesn't.
It doesn't. You have no control.
I'm not saying it's all the time. I'm just saying sometimes I'm like, I just also remember my dad saying, the pool is so big, there's so much chlorine, there's so much water that it would be okay if you peed.
And even
listen, now I don't want to survive me to a pool party, but like honestly, I really like peeing in like a Miami ocean. Then I don't feel so bad. I really like getting up from my lounge chair and going with a buzz on and just peeing. Because, you know, you're in a swimsuit, so you always are thinking, oh, if I pee, like my stomach will look flatter, as if that's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I like to pee a lot.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, everybody else that's in the pool could potentially have already peed on themselves.
The fish are peeing.
Everything from your body is like mixing around anyway.
Yeah.
What if somebody didn't wipe their ass?
Yeah. Well, definitely like if you're at one of those Vegas pools or whatever.
Oh my God.
Like never like dunk your head. And also don't have an open drink.
Well, don't go to Vegas.
Because also, no, but even the pool, if any of the pool water got in the thing, don't go to Vegas. I remember I was doing a show and we were at the Hard Rock Hotel. And at the time they had like a really good water slide situation. And I said to my kids, okay, when I'm done with my show on Sunday, this is when they were little, 2 boys, we'll go to the pool and do the whole thing. So I get there and I didn't realize it was one of their big like Sunday fun day things, you know? And the guy's like, you know, this turns into like a big party in like an hour or whatever. I'm like, that's fine. I still didn't know. Cause like I never did like the Vegas thing when I was young. Like I went to Vegas.
I pee in the pool. I'm good.
Yeah.
I got my kids.
So we're going down the water slides and everything. And now people start to come. The ambulance, cause they always have a couple ambulances waiting for someone to like dive up. And I'm like walking around and I've got my like kid on my hip and like, I did not realize that like my kid had grabbed my bathing suit. So now my tit's out. So now I'm fitting in and all these girls are drinking out of like the penis straws and all this stuff. And my friends were like, what were you thinking? Like, I'm like, I don't know. I work full time. This was our day together. Right. And they didn't care. Like they just wanted to go down that water slide. They didn't care that they, you know, that it was a people partying. Like, and I kind of liked it too. So yeah, I make the most of every situation.
And any opportunity to pee in the pool.
Absolutely. And we totally peed there because I'm like, this place is a sick, I'll probably get pregnant going down the slide. So who cares?
Do you think that's possible? Or do you think the chlorine would kill everything?
I was always nervous about that.
And you thought it
well, they would say like if you had sex, you know, or didn't have sex, but there was some cum or whatever, like if it got slightly close to your crotch that it could like swim up there without you knowing. You know,
do you think if you sit on a really cold bench, you'll get hemorrhoids?
No, I've not. Is that something
people used to say that?
No, I've never had hemorrhoids.
You know, I've no friends that have said like, oh, I got a hemorrhoid. I've never had a hemorrhoid in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, no secret. I've shit myself at a restaurant, but never a hemorrhoid.
I've never had a kidney stone thing.
Never had one of those
I don't
either.
even understand that when they go, well, then I passed it. I go, so I'm like, so you're peeing and then there's just like a little rock in the toilet?
Yeah.
And they said, no, it's very small.
Yeah, but then people say, oh, it's so painful coming out.
I'm sure it is.
But if it's so minuscule.
Yeah, but think about how tiny your little pee hole is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that tiny, is it? Because if you do sounding, you can stretch it. Have you seen people do sounding? It's like a metal device that they put right through their urethra and they pleasure themselves.
Oh, for a dick, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have one of those yet.
Well, we both kind of have the same thing if you really think about it, right?
Yeah.
Just in or out.
Yeah, we're just peeing.
Right.
Kidney stones out.
What's the most dangerous thing you've ever ordered at McDonald's?
Well, being that I'm Heather McDonald and I've yet to get any kind of, I've never even gotten a free gift card from them.
That's what
and then they did that whole caviar thing. And I'm like, hello, have you heard about the caviar thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're not going to, you know, that's another thing, since you like talk about food and stuff. You know, when McDonald's starts serving caviar on chicken McNuggets and Wendy's has a truffle burger, I think we've jumped the shark.
Yeah.
We need to find some other bougie thing because it's not that special anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously. Anyway, I I used to try to be healthy at McDonald's, and I don't even know if they have them. They had like a grilled chicken like wrap.
Yeah, I think there was a big movement to bring back the wrap.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they did or not, but
Yes. But you know what I realized recently? That I was fucking up my In-N-Out burger order for like years.
What's your order?
I thought it was exciting to go animal style and whatever. I didn't even know what animal style was. I guess it's like they take the burger and dip it into some like something. I don't even know.
Don't they just put like a lot of Thousand Island dressing on it or something?
So what I realized later in life, really what makes a yummy burger is the bun, the sauce and cheese, and get rid of the fucking lettuce and tomato.
It doesn't really help. It
doesn't
wilts.
really. It makes
just
it
wilts.
big. And so like maybe just some grilled onions or like some exciting, like I do like a bacon fig jam or a jalapeno fig jam. Like just like all the flavors, juicy, keep it simple.
I like a toasted bun too.
Totally. Toasted.
On the grill or
Yeah.
something. That's so good.
Yeah. You know what I think we need to bring back that my friend just said she had at a party? Jell-O shots.
Oh, that was such a fun. Well, for me, it's such a gay bar thing because everybody used to make them and then sell them as fundraisers.
Oh.
Right. So everybody became an alcoholic off of fundraising, which is kind of our own fault, really. What's your favorite like go-to cocktail?
Okay. So just flavor, like where I take a sip. I've never tried any hard drugs, but I assume this is what it's like when people describe heroin, where they just feel it going through their veins. Rumbauer Chardonnay.
Okay, I don't know.
Rumbauer's the
Never had
winery. It's very buttery. It has a flavor like no other. Okay, I also love a Cosmo, and I order it, and I said, I'll have a Cosmo. I like it light pink, not too sweet.
Okay.
Keep it more sour. I like a skinny spicy margarita. No salt or any shit on the rim.
Okay.
I like a big cab.
Okay.
Cabernet, but I like it from Napa, not from Italy.
I would love for you to come like maybe just like east of the 101.
Yeah.
But not towards Orange County, just somewhere in my area. I would
What's
love for
your
you,
area?
Well,
You mean
I live in the city of Whittier.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I would love for you to come down, just the other end of East LA. Maybe a Mad Dog for you. I would love for you to try a Mad Dog.
What's in a Mad Dog?
I would love for you to try an Alizé. I'd love for you to try a Boone's Farm. I think these would be fun for you.
Are these cocktails or just beers or something?
Let's take a break. They're all like $1.29 at the liquor store.
Oh, okay.
They're like college alcohol. Do you know what is very Delta? Home cooking. Truly, nothing hits like a good home-cooked meal. And HelloFresh makes it ridiculously easy to do more of that this year with recipes that feel good and taste incredible night after night. HelloFresh has completely changed my relationship with cooking at home. The whole process has become therapeutic for me. I throw on a true crime podcast and get to cooking. With over 100 recipes every single week, the options are endless. Cozy comfort meals and cuisine from all over the world. Lately, my obsession is the apricot ponzu chicken. The pan sauce in this meal is very Delta. It's made with apricot jam, citrusy ponzu, garlic, ginger, and butter. It is rich, it is glossy, and it's doing the work. On the side, you've got fluffy jasmine rice and garlicky roasted broccoli. Every bite, divine. No notes. HelloFresh is full of quality you can actually taste, and they make everything so easy with step-by-step cooking instructions that are impossible to mess up. You can choose from more than 35 high-protein recipes every week, including new Mediterranean and GLP-1 friendly options. Plus, they use wholesome ingredients like sustainably sourced seafood and 100% antibiotic and hormone-free chicken. I love HelloFresh, and trust me, you're going to love it too. Go to HelloFresh.com/VeryDelta10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free Zwilling knife on your third box. A $144.99 value. Offer valid while supplies last. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. You know what's better than a gift that just sits there collecting dust? Matching underwear. Because nothing says we're doing well like coordinating from the waist down. MeUndies has fully cracked the code with their matching underwear for couples. It's cute, it's intimate, and unlike a novelty mug, you're actually going to use this. MeUndies makes briefs, trunks, and briefs for him, and thongs, bikinis, and cheeky styles for her. And personally, I love MeUndies. The ultra-modal fabric is top tier, luxury soft, and makes it feel like you're wearing nothing. And the fit, flawless. I got matching boxer briefs for my partner and me in the Lucky Me print that's covered with rainbows and 4-leaf clovers. Every style comes in coordinating prints, so you and your partner can match, whether you've been together for years or you're trying to subtly signal commitment without saying it out loud. So let's talk about their first pair promise. 45 days, totally risk-free. If your first pair doesn't work out, they'll make it right. But baby, let me be clear. You will not be sending these back because MeUndies are very Delta. Over 30 million pairs sold, 90,000 5-star reviews. And once you put them on, you'll understand why people are obsessed. Make this year one to remember with matching underwear from MeUndies. To get exclusive deals up to 50% off, go to MeUndies.com/VeryDelta and enter promo code VeryDelta. That's MeUndies.com/VeryDelta, promo code VeryDelta for up to 50% off. We are back with Heather McDonald. So everyone that watches the show regularly knows that I just sit here and complain.
Okay,
I complain. I have no solutions. I have zero solutions. But we call it frying the small fish because
I
we
love
know
it.
there's shit going on in the world. I can't solve any of it. Are there any small fish that you can think of? It could be a missing menu item that you would like to come back. It would be a behavior that you see in travel. Something that just needs to be fried on your behalf.
I think like every restaurant needs to have some dude or girl in the corner playing some live music.
I like it.
We have all these artists here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure someone would do it for an evening for not that much money and then they could get tips. And it just changes everything. And I just think more restaurants, if they just had live music like 4 to 5 nights a week, they would see their numbers go up.
I love the idea of live music in more places.
Yeah.
In fact, I can even think of a few places that I've been that used to feature it. And then I still look at that spot and I'm like, what happened? There's nothing there anymore. Like, why are you not even utilizing that? Throw a table in that space then or do something.
Yeah.
But I mean, bring back an artist.
Right, exactly. Just takes one person and their little thing, and then they like read the words on their iPad, and like it's a good fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're by yourself in the car, what kind of music do you like to listen to? What are you gonna belt out in the car?
I like music right now that you could ice skate to.
Okay.
I don't ice skate, but I like to imagine I would be a great choreographer for ice skaters.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I just hear a song and I'm like, oh, I can just imagine her going backwards, 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 twirl, long leg, you know.
Would that be like It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine Dion, maybe?
That's a great one. That's a great one. Adele.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Adele song is Turning Tables.
That's a great song.
If someone plays Turning Tables, no matter where I am, I will get up and do an interpretive dance to it.
Really?
Oftentimes, if it's at a pool party, I will end with a synchronized swimming routine just by myself. So it's not really synchronized.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And everyone stands and they film it, you know, and then I look at it later and I'm like, I'm not posting this. But sometimes I do. But it's Turning Tables. It's just my jam.
Turning Tables. What's your least favorite Adele song? Do you have one?
Rolling in the Deep, just because it's like the go-to. She's better ones, you know. Is she going to come back and perform for us? I feel like I really missed it. I thought she was chatting a little too much into it. Like whenever I'd watch the clips of her at Caesar's Palace, I was like, I know every comedian wants to be a singer and every singer wants to be a comedian, but it was a little too much talking in between.
A little bit, but it was like,
still,
my doctor's here.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep is here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I would probably, I guess, if I had all those people at my show. You know what I noticed? People do crowd work, right? That's a thing, a crowd work thing. And sometimes I wonder, like, are there comics that only do crowd work because they don't have any jokes? Or how does that work?
Really what happened was, you know, some people love doing crowd work. I never got into it because I started stand-up in LA, and I always just had so many great stories and jokes to tell
Sure.
that I was like, well, I only have an hour. I don't want to waste it talking to these people. And also it's just like, let me just tell you all the great stuff. Well, then in the last 5 years with social media, people, I guess, at home that don't go to comedy thought it was amazing that someone could improvise with someone in the front row. And they were like, is this magic? Like they just like lost their mind over it. And so those people went viral. And then other people thought, well, my gosh, I don't want my best story being put out there because I'm going to use it in my act for the next 2 years or my best joke. So I will do crowd work, and that's what I'll put on social media. But the crowd work stuff isn't, I think, not that fun unless you're the one that's being spoken to. And if you're in the back, you can't really hear unless it's like a taped thing and someone's got a mic. But normally if you're like, hello, sir, like, what are you wearing? Someone over there doesn't know what they're wearing. And so I'm always like thinking, I want to give the best show for every single seat in the house.
Absolutely.
So I don't do that much crowd work.
I always feel like that's just then emceeing an event.
Yeah.
Like you're basically the person who's introing like the house, like at a drag show, you would say like, let me give you the house rules. Let's celebrate a few birthdays. Hey, it's your first time here. Well, welcome. And, you just kind of, you officiate when the acts are going to come out.
Yeah.
So when I see people do that, sometimes I'm like, I know how to make fun of people who are on a first date. That's not really, anybody could kind of do that.
Yeah. Oh, he's not getting laid.
Yeah.
Woo!
Waka, waka, waka. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind. How could you even, like you said, are you a magician?
Yeah.
What? You're so dangerous. It's not funny. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Why is that funny?
No.
I don't know. I think it's bizarre. You were a contributing writer for the movie White Chicks.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
So I met Keenan Ivory Wayans when it was my first job, first Writers Guild job. He had a late night talk show called Keenan Ivory Wayans Show. And then that ended and there were a few years and they were actually writing this other movie that was going to be like a parody of all these alien movies. And the writers with the Wayans brothers were like, all those movies always have like a mom in it. And they're like, Heather just had a baby. Let's have her. So we worked on that and then they shelved it. And I was at his house working on that movie. And I saw like the Variety and it said that they had sold this movie with the idea kind of based on the Hilton sisters. And so I said, can I work on this? Don't you think you need, my dad said, tell them, don't you think they need one actual white girl like consulting? So I go, can I be the one white girl? So they had like the storyline and then we would meet and flesh out the characters and flesh out the scenes. And so one day I was there and Kim Wayans came and I had these pants on and she had the same pants. And I was like, oh, those are those Mark Wong, like cool pants from that store on 3rd Street. And I go, but that girl that works there is so annoying. She's always like, hi, can I help you? And like opening up the thing and like, you're like, okay, just give me a minute. Like, no, like, let me just like see if this is good. So anyway, we talked about it and joked about it. And Keenan goes, we need to have a shopping scene. Go write that scene. So I came up with writing the scene. Collaborative people punched it up and stuff. Then they said, we worked it out that you can come to Canada and you can be the sales girl. So I'm the sales girl in the scene. And, but like we worked on all I had a friend in college that would be trying on clothes and be like, what the fuck is this? And she'd take her fat and be like, oh, hello, I'm talking Tina. I'm a fat. And that's how I like came up with that whole like where, you're like making your fat talking just in the way girls are awful about our bodies. And it was really fun. And then one night, Sean was like, we need to go out to a club with you and your friends. We want to like witness that. So we go to like Mr. Chow's and then we went to like some place. I want to say it was called The Gate or something in La Cienega. And the Beyonce song came on and all the girls, which was a pretty white club, started dancing crazy. And Sean was like, we need to have that song in the movie. I don't care what it costs. That's the song. And then that's when they have that dance off and all that stuff. And then the dance off, kind of an interesting thing is the girls, the actresses worked with a choreography to do that whole, do the dance. And then Keenan goes, it's too good. You guys are too good.
Oh,
so it's not funny. Like go back and And that's when they kind of made it more dorky and, all that kind of stuff. And I just love that everyone still loves that movie and people dress up for it as Halloween and
Oh,
people learn to
yeah.
do the routine. It was such a fun movie and it was so all in just humor. Like here we were just laughing and everything. No one was thinking of it. Oh my God, they're mocking women or like it wasn't that at all. Like it was, and that's why it's so successful because we all love it. Like
Mm-hmm.
the people that love the movie the most are white chicks, like we love it. So
Yeah.
yeah. And it was the whole story behind it of coming up with that it's an FBI thing. And then we actually would watch old movies like Tootsie and Some Like It Hot. Because there is a genre of film where men have to dress up like women to get away with something or get a job and then they almost get caught, but then they have a love interest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I kind of learned about film writing and like that there is a formula to it to an extent.
Sure.
That,
sure.
this has to happen at the second act and the third act and, and Keenan's very much like a teacher like that. So it's like all the nephews that are now like stand-ups and famous on their own, they were like, contributing writers too and stuff. It was really cool.
Well, I think that's interesting that you mentioned that because there's something about that that also goes to the true crime when we were talking about people say, well, I've heard that story. Yes, but there's a formula to telling something and then telling it in your own way.
Right.
So like in this movie, yeah, there could be a format that is mostly a skeleton.
Yes.
And then you sort of judge it the way that you do to make it your own.
Right.
Maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but whatever. Doug, I really appreciate that, that you're here and that you've given your time. We've had other people that have come on before that are comics by trade and by as celebrated. And I will say, like, it was almost like in many ways like pulling teeth because I'm like, I thought I was going to have fun. Like I thought we were going to chit chat about your project or your interests or what you found interesting. And it was like almost in a way what you said about I'm not going to put my best thing out there. And in the conversation, I almost thought to myself, are they holding back because they kind of don't want to give away for free their personality or something? Like, and I feel like you're an open book to me. Like
yeah.
I've known you through these movies. I've known you through your podcast. I've known you in so many ways. I generationally feel very connected to you. And so when we're talking, I feel like I can ask you anything and you're giving me a very unfiltered answer. Whereas have been other people that I've had the opportunity and have given me their time, but come off sort of like, I don't really want to answer too much. And it's like, you don't have to be here. It's okay.
I mean, I just think that in this business, especially comedy today, that not everybody's good at everything. You know what I mean? And someone that like kills it and is doing arena shows and things like that maybe aren't as great at podcasting because they put their effort in that. And the same thing of just being a guest or what comes natural for me, talking and being a guest on podcasts, having my own podcast, I kind of just never run out of things to say.
Mhm.
So I just think it's one of my talents is that like I can keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
And other people, it isn't. And then it's sometimes, yeah, you're sort of surprised. I mean, I remember that when working on Chelsea Lately, sometimes even though there were only 7-minute segments, we would be like, oh my God, that person was kind of a dud. And so you just never know.
Yeah.
And then that's why like back in the olden days, like Johnny Carson would have like his favorite Terry Garr or whatever constantly come back because they just had a chemistry, they had a thing, and she didn't necessarily have to be promoting something. And so I think kind of the same thing goes, oftentimes too, the persona that they are on stage, not everybody is a completely authentic comedian. I mean, for years, there's been a lot of comedians that were closeted.
Right.
So now you're doing a whole act like you got a wife at home or whatever. Like, it's like, so, I mean, and then there's people that do very general jokes that like everyone can laugh about a Tinder joke or whatever. And then there's people like me that I'm like, I had one incident where early in my career, I was accused of stealing a Star 69 joke.
Okay.
Do you remember Star 69?
I do.
And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell the stories about my life because they're funny and they're my point of view and no one can steal those.
Mm-hmm.
Or no one can accuse me of doing general stuff. But the general stuff is easy. Hence why COVID was a glorious time for stand-ups because every single person has been through COVID.
Right.
Not everyone's been married. Not everybody lived in the South. Not everybody has kids. But everyone, made fun of the person driving around with their mask on by themselves.
Right.
And then that time got over and you're like, I guess I got to write some new shit, But so that's what I think. I don't think every comedian is truly authentic in their storytelling in their life.
I guess that must be what it is. I think that's probably true. And if you don't draw from that, if you're only drawing from a tiny pool of reference,
Yeah.
then it doesn't seem as slow though you lived it or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. What about blue balling men?
I wrote a book called You'll Never Blue Ball in This Town Again. And
which, by the way, obviously for people who don't know, generationally a reference to you'll never
dry
eat lunch
humping, teasing.
But also the book.
Right, you're right. Okay, so those were my favorite books. I love books about hookers. I love high class hooker stories, especially in Hollywood. So there was a book, You'll Never Make Love in This Town Again.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, people were writing the books that were always doing well were girls that fucked a lot of people, And at the time, I was married when I wrote the book and had kids, but I had this long period of time where I was a virgin, like an old virgin, but I was still going up and doing stand up at the Improv, doing growlings, going out, getting drunk, but I just dry humped. And because I always just thought, well, if I'm going to lose it now, I'm so old, like this guy better be my boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
But if I didn't fuck the guy by the third date, he was like, this girl doesn't like me. And so it was just went for a long time. But I just loved like dry humping. Like I loved like a friction of like jeans.
And they were fine with this?
No, they dumped me. They would never call me after.
But nobody was fine with it. Not even one person?
Oh yeah, a couple times because they thought I was, they thought it would happen the next date. And then the next date, I'd get them all hard and dry hump them. And then I would just say like, thank you for that dinner, and I'd leave. And what a bitch. Like, I can't even, I don't even know what I was thinking. I was just.
Did you ever do soaking?
No, I was not a Mormon or anything like that. And I wasn't saving myself because religion.
Mm-hmm.
My mom did sort of drill in my mind. I just didn't want to have sex with someone after I waited so long and then just see them like skateboard past me, near the Trojan statue at SC. Like I was like, okay, let me get a boyfriend out of him. But you really couldn't get a boyfriend unless you were boning. And now that I've raised boys and been married to a man for so long, oh my God, they're so dumb. They don't think that. They're not thinking. Like, honestly, girls, if you want a guy, just tell them that you like them. It'll probably be enough. Like, they are not looking across the room and being like, that's the girl. That's the one I want. They're not. Go up to them. Talk to them. They're not thinking, I wonder what she's going to wear. I wonder what color her prom dress is. They're not thinking that unless they're gay. They're not,
right.
They don't think about that shit.
That is true.
And all the time that was like wondering and we think about our relationship so much more than them. Don't waste the pretty. Like just whatever. The other day, I'm going to change everything around now. And I'm going to start a new thing. You know how people say children should be seen and not heard or whatever, or like a woman's space is in the bedroom. Now I just go, stop talking. You're only here for your strength and your body.
Yes.
I only have you here to fix the fucking light. I don't need to hear you talk. Nobody wants you around for your brain. You're 6'3". Go. Get a ladder.
And this is
we need to change the dialogue. Make men realize they're just here because they're strong.
I have heard other women also say something similar. I want to say Dita Von Teese one time was talking about men and what turns men on, and she kind of explained it's very simple. It's very it isn't always the most beautiful woman.
No.
It's the woman who knows what they want. And if you deliver those things, if you get those key points, you know when some people say they draw their eyebrow on, they go a point, and then they connect it. If you can connect those dots, and if you can know what is going to make them excited, if you know they love femininity, they will take it in pretty much listen to me. If you know that men like femininity, they will take those trappings in any form. Listen to me. In any form, because they're stupid.
I agree.
They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. If that's what's left.
I mean, that's why, whenever like a couple has been married for a long time or whatever, and sadly maybe the wife dies, that guy has a wife within, months.
Yeah.
And the women are like, I don't need another old fart to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. Like, unless they need them for their money. They're like, no, thank you. But like, yeah, with the men, it's like, it's why women, but then I do think there's certain women, and that was not me. There are certain women that, I don't know if they're taught by their mother, if it's like where they kind of can get guys to fall in love with. There's something they're engaged several times, whatever. Like whenever I would hear that someone's mother was married 4 times or whatever, I'm like, I need to know what Venus trap vagina she has going on.
Right.
How did she get 4 guys to get on their knee and say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you?
Right.
Like, I mean, that's just like amazing to me. And also because I'm just always like, get your own coffee.
So is dry humping, is that something is that like on your maternal side, or was that handed down?
I just think when I got to that stage, like, the bases,
Mm-hmm.
that was just kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
But then when I had sex, I liked that too. I mean, sex is great. And, being pregnant, having kids, I liked all of that. But I do just think it's just fascinating that men, my favorite thing also is like, when someone is like, I can't believe, my husband, my ex-husband is dating this younger woman and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you open up the phone and you see him pushing a stroller in 105-degree weather at, Orlando, Florida with a knee brace and rosacea. That new wife had another baby. I'm like, bitch, you won. The one thing that God did good for us is we can't get pregnant at 52. But that fucking asshole husband of yours can. And he has to start all over with another family.
Yeah.
Be grateful. That's why women also have to get the vasectomies too for their husbands. So that they don't have any more kids.
Or women like me, couldn't get pregnant at 22.
Yes.
And I've been trying and it just won't stick.
Right. Yeah. Did you put your legs up after sex?
I can't feel my legs. So I don't know. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. Who knows? You might know.
Yes, it helps.
It helps.
It helps, but sometimes it's hard.
We are back with Heather McDonald. This is the part of the show that we call Read Me Delta. People send in their letters.
Love it.
And if you want to send a letter, and you can send it to readmedelta@gmail.com. Questions, queries, maybe no comments because we don't want to hear those. But if you need advice, we can give advice.
I love it.
Some people send these in and sometimes they're a little long. And I'll do my best. Can I use your letter?
Yes, I picked this one.
Oh, I like this one. Dear Delta and succulent guest. All right. I recently went on a large group trip with several cis straight girls on a bachelorette trip. I'm a gay cis man for context. Blame it on social media, heated rivalry, or maybe my own influence. But I noticed several of the girls using isms for queer culture, a step beyond the usual cis or gag. Some referred to their orifices as their holes. They talked about rimming, douching, and one even mentioned painting trade, much to my chagrin. I started referring to these comments as stolen valor and calling them out seemingly jokingly as I heard them say, but it got me thinking, is stolen valor very Delta? Should I be proud or should I be miffed that they're referencing things that are my lived experiences? Are we all one whole or many? What do you think?
Oh, that's beautifully written.
Are there many things you would hear from someone that would make you think that's stolen valor? Your lifelong adoring fan, Adam from Brooklyn, New York. Stolen valor.
That is very clever. I have heard from gay men and seen videos and things that they are over being invited to the bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm.
They love their girlfriend who's getting married, but maybe they don't want to go really, and they're getting stuck going, and it's too much with the straight girls. And also they don't want the straight girls at their clubs because it feels like, let's go and, look at you know what I mean? Like they're not there. I get how it's kind of taken over what it once was.
Mm-hmm.
And so now to use the verbiage, I mean, gay men have always been at the forefront of like fashion and they're smart and they're funny, but they also have the male brain. So they still are like better at things than we are as far as like logic and not getting so sensitive, I think. And so I just think there's just, they just were being funny.
Yeah.
But I have not heard that we start calling things different, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, these bachelorette parties are too much to begin with. I can't believe that people have to go and spend thousands of dollars and all of that. So what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I guess as someone who still, I mean, not super recently, but within the recent past was still doing drag shows, like bar drag shows or like a brunch show or something, we would get bachelorettes that would come in. And for the most part, they were just party girls.
Yeah,
they wanted to have a good time. They brought themselves into a space that I think the reason they brought themselves into that space was, number one, because they wanted to have a good time. So they thought they would hear fun music. They would have cool people to take pictures with. But also, I think they kind of wanted to be away from the threat of like straight men.
Yeah.
So I think the reason that they come into those spaces is for the safety.
I mean, I just think it's an entertaining, good time.
Yeah.
And they can dance and, and I think it's all fine. I mean, I think like, changing the words of things. Like I always thought, I'm sick of like women going, "What's up, bitches?" Like I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick. Like, can we retire that with 2025? Like calling each other bitches. And so I don't think it's cute. I think it's gross.
There's actually like a
hey-ho,
there's
all
a
that.
parody song called Betches Love Brunch. Betches love brunch. We like that. And I'm like, this is exactly, I think, kind of what you're talking about. I don't like that. I don't like, and I know, no personal friends, but I do hear other people do it. They'll like other drag queens will walk into a room and they'll be like, "Hey, trash. Hey, clown. What's going on, clowns?"
Wait, they'll say it to the drag queen?
Like to other queens, maybe in many cases.
To each other, you mean?
Yeah, but in many cases, people they don't even know. Other queens they don't know.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's a clown nature to much of what we do. But at the same time, it's like, it just seems weird. Like, I need some familiarity with you before you like, I don't know if I did something unusual in your home and we reference that in the future.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hey, where's my little baby that shit all over the walls in my guest bathroom?" To me, that's funny because we have a reference point. But if somebody came up to me and said that, I would be like, "Heather, what did you tell them I did in your bathroom?"
Right, exactly.
In this case, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever heard other women saying I think, with the heated rivalry. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it, but what's interesting about it is the reason it resonated with women so much is that a woman wrote it.
Oh, okay.
About two men falling in love that are not out, that play hockey on different teams. But I think it's also maybe not very realistic to a gay male relationship, like the romance, the heat, because it's for women. So it's kind of like the perfect thing. So we're like, all these women are like obsessed with it. So, I mean, I think women love gay men and now we love gay sex.
Well,
and you're like, can we have one thing?
No, but this makes sense because there are like porn videos that are made that are like women's point of view.
Right.
So the angles and everything will be more appreciative of a
Right.
man's body, right? So
Yeah.
I would think in many ways that's like catering towards anyone who likes
Yeah.
that. So maybe we do meet somewhere.
Yeah.
We all meet
Meet in
somewhere.
one big hole.
Holes.
Yeah.
Holes. I don't like to say that. I don't think holes. Oh, fuck my hole.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Have you said that before?
No, I've never called it that.
You never said that. You said like
Like the sexy words.
But do you remember like in when they used to have like romance novels and they would
Yeah.
be like, she presented her sex to him.
Yeah.
They would say shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Delta and fabulous guest, here we go with the sis. Doug, did you put this in here? Does everyone say this? I know I shouldn't be like this, but I kind of feel like I understand the term, you know what I mean? But like, I always feel odd when I say too many terms because I feel like I'm stumbling over my own terms.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you could just kind of call me whatever. I don't know. Just call me to dinner. I'm a cis woman in my 40s with several elementary aged children. And you know what that means? Team sports. Yay. Okay, they're actually fun.
A cis gay, what is this? A cis what?
A cis woman in my 40s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With several elementary aged children. And you know what that means? Team sports. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, they're actually fun, but some of the parents, too much. One of my kids was on a team with a set of parents who were deeply awkward. And when I say awkward, I don't mean quirky or charming. I mean unsettling, weird in a bad way. One day, one of these parents asked if we would like to get the kids together for a play date. My heart immediately sank, but out of sheer obligation and fear, I said, yeah, let's do it. As time went on, I conveniently found reasons for it to never happen again because this woman genuinely just weirds me out. Fast forward to now. She recently invited me to hang out. She asked if we'd like to join her on Wednesday for a trip to IKEA for 2-for-1 adult meal special. What do? Do I swallow the meatballs and commit to the 2-for-1 special, or do I continue making excuses? What would Delta Work do? What would you do? Signed, forever yours, Very Sharon from Hotchkiss, Colorado. Hotchkiss.
I mean, I think I've been there with the kids and all of that. And it's so great when you do find a mom or a couple that you guys like to hang with and like to do day drinking and, you know, the kids can swim and you're like, no one's going to drown. Let's have some fun. But
gonna drown.
When you meet the dorks or the judgy people, just ghost away. Just be busy. Just, wait like 2 days to answer it and then be like, oh, you know what? This isn't going to work. So sorry I couldn't swing it. Thank you. Eventually they'll stop asking you.
I 1,000% agree with this approach. I know there's some people out there that are like, well, I just tell it like it is. And you know what? Good for you. Good for you. I do not like
Not everybody wants to know the reason why someone doesn't want to go out with you anymore.
And also,
like, bring back, like, wondering what happened.
Right.
Like, I don't want to know that you weren't attracted to me or whatever. I said something that was off-putting. That's going to fuck me up more than just I was ghosted. Let me think that you went back to your old girlfriend. Let me think that in this case, for the dorky people, that you were just, just really busy and a flaky mom.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, there's something to be said for people who like stand their ground and they have to tell it like it is. I personally do feel like there is a space for a white lie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same thing. If that's a problem for you, then that's a problem for you. But listen, sometimes you just don't want to hurt people's feelings. You don't want to be in that conversation. You don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
They're just weird. Now, if they're weird for like other reasons and you need to call that out in some other way and warn other people, you don't want fucking weird people around your kids. That's different.
Yeah.
But the 2-for-1 special, the weird foods, and you just don't want to be part of that.
No.
Just ghost them. Yeah, we can swing at this time. They will. People get the clue.
Yeah.
They will get a clue. Some people it takes longer, but most people
will stop asking about it the third time.
Yeah. Have you ever been ghosted by a counselor?
You mean like a therapist?
Yes.
To be totally honest, I have only been in therapy once.
Mm-hmm.
And it was we started it and then it was COVID. And so it was a call. And her voice was pretty annoying, the therapist. Hi, Heather!
Oh, no.
I don't know. I just was like,
Jesus.
so, and then I basically didn't want to break up with her because I thought there's no way that has anyone that's more fun to talk to than me, you know? And I'm giving her good stories and good juice and everything. But I was really like, this isn't really helping me. And it was a pain. Like all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, fuck, it's 3:30 on Thursday. Now I have to like go, in my car and take this fucking therapy appointment or whatever. And so I finally I ghosted her.
Yeah.
I just like, whatever, paid the last $150 or whatever my thing was. And then she was like, oh, do you still want to do? And I think sometimes they're happy to get rid of you too. She wasn't like, oh, I think I got to keep you. I mean, she was probably like, over me. And then I said, why doesn't she know about me? Like, why do I have to explain who I am? Like, I'm a little bit of a famous person. Why doesn't she listen to the podcast? Why doesn't she look me up? And then someone said their therapists aren't supposed to do that. I'm like, well, now I'm wasting my time because I have to fill in on my life.
Oh, they're doing it. They're Googling.
I have to fill in my life all the time. I don't think she was.
You're Googling, baby. You're Googling. You're looking. You're going on Instagram. You're using professional names. You're doing all of that. You didn't think she worked at McDonald's. You knew who the fuck she was. And you knew who I was too. Maybe a little lower on the YouTube creator level, but you knew. You could figure it out. There's IMBBH, BB.
Wait, did you just get blown off by a therapist?
Yes, but I've never been to a therapist before, ever. And I went and I scheduled the appointment and it was all sketchy. But anyway, she ghosted me. And I was like, well, fuck. Maybe I talked too much. That's what I think what it was. Maybe I scared her. Maybe she was like, you got problems because you get up there and you fucking complain about everything every week. That's your therapy.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, no offense to therapists. I'm like, but what do they know? Like they're just like a person hearing your story.
My friend's a mom,
Yeah. Like I just kind of like.
You could never.
I don't know. Like, I just think I realized in doing the podcast that I get my therapy is a couple 100,000 people listening and telling me that they liked the show and that I was great.
Yeah.
And then the ones that don't, I block them. Because I don't need to hear criticism at this point. Listen, I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
This is the final product.
But then I'm sitting in the airport at like 6 o'clock in the morning and I look at the comments and I'm like, I think they hate me.
Only some do. And like, you know what? And
Only
they're jealous. They're just jealous. Like sometimes, you know what I really realized one day when I cracked the code of like my particular demographic of like a severe hater that like I block them out of some place and then I'm like, I think they found another name or they found another group to get into. Some of the things that they would say about me was really clever and funny. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, whoever this person is, man, woman, whatever, they wish they had pursued their craft.
Yes.
And they're really mad that I'm doing it. And because I talk about housewives and, they're like, well, why does she get to do that? Mm-hmm. Why does she get to hang out with fabulous people like Delta? Like what makes her so special? So there's something of that. Like first they like you, then they get entitled. And then if you don't give them their attention or you like snap back or you delete their comment, they're like, I've been listening to you for 5 years. And you're like, all right. Like, what do you want I cannot please everybody, or even when like, have you ever gone on a break, like taken a week off during 4th of July? And someone's like, it's Tuesday. Where's the show?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I'm sorry. Have you been watching TV your whole life? They take entire summers off.
Right.
Like I could take a week off. What am I supposed to do on the subway? I don't know, Jan.
Right.
I don't know. But like, can I fucking shut up for a week?
Right. We have that. Our network takes a break for 2 weeks in the winter because the building is shut down.
Yes.
It's shut down. There's been times where we had to sneak into the building just to get some ads or whatever it is done, right? And we're like, yes, we should be taking a break. Everybody should take a break, a vacation, whatever. But there's even times where we're like, no, we're willing to work, but the way podcasting works, nobody is buying an ad during those 2 weeks.
It took me like till the 10th year to finally go, wait a minute, are there any ads for the last 2 weeks of December? No. Then I don't have to do a new show.
Yeah,
And they're
there's no staff.
No, we just thought you wanted to. I was like, no.
There's no staff. there's no light bill. There's no rent on the bill.
Like, let me just have a break. Yeah. So now,
What did the lady say? It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Is something going wrong? Explain to me why I'm subscribed to this. Remind me again why I pay $5 a month for Patreon. I don't know. It's $5 a month. And you're getting 2 hours of extra material every Friday. I do a show, and I never don't do it.
Do you go naked on your Patreon? Some people go naked.
No, I don't do anything like that.
No.
I don't do any OnlyFans. I don't do anything like that. I mean, someone asked, like, what would you feel, Drake, to my son? Like, how would you feel if your mom did like the OnlyFans?
Right.
They have told me. They're like, Mom, if you just do like your feet or whatever, like you could.
Right.
And I'm like, I think I'm pretty proud just to like walk around this earth being as successful as I am without having to do OnlyFans. And I'm not against it, but like I can make that kind of money with just being funny and talking. So, but I don't begrudge anyone that does that.
I met your little boy Drake today.
My little boy, so little.
Will he support my OnlyFans, you think?
I don't.
He would. You don't think he would support my decisions?
No, support you for you to make money. Yes, I thought you meant would he subscribe? And I'm going to say no.
You don't think so?
No, don't be offended, but no.
He doesn't like beautiful
No,
women.
you know what? It's so funny. He's so into golf that he was driving me here, and he's like, "Oh, I know where this is. It's near Lakeside Golf or whatever." And I go, I go, Drake, you remind me of this comedian years ago that said how fat people would give directions. It's an old joke. And they'd be like, you make a right at McDonald's and a left. I go, that's the way you describe everything. You're like, oh, is that near Bel Air or is that near I'm like, because the Bel Air Country Club. And I'm like, you're such a little brat. Like you have
so
such a great
true.
life. Like it's all about sports and stuff. So but yes, I support anybody. Make your money while you can make it is what I say.
I love that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. This was
is
so
so
fun. You're so funny and such a delight. And I love the show. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. We'll see you next week. And until then, keep things very Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Danielle Mitchell. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cole. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions. Today's guest is a pop culture aficionado with the guajua, with the kombucha.
Mom!
Watch Very Delta uncensored, ad-free, and a day early by subscribing to Mom Plus Gold. Sign up today at mompodcast.plus for premium content, including weekly episodes of more Very Delta.